Hello everybody and welcome to another Uniko video with me, Bev, the owner and designer of all things Uniko. Welcome to day 3 of the August 2025 release product introductions, and today we have another sort of retro vibe product to introduce. It is Background Blocks Mod Circles Builder. So you might recognize this stamp, or this design I should say, as it was originally released as a stencil. It's been out a while now, the stencil, and similar to the mod background, I'll just grab one of the mod background stamps so you can see it, just in case you're not sure. So this is the mod background, and originally this is a stencil. It came out as a stencil first, and then I shrank the design down to fit in as a background block. So there is a size offset difference, which I quite like. So because I'd done that one as a stamp, I thought it was about time that this one came out as a stamp as well. So as you see, it's got this main image here, which is designed, which I'll show you, that you can move it around to fill a larger space. And then obviously you've got these 4 accent stamps that are really quite creative. So here's the cards that I have shared on the website blog today. I started off really simple with an ink blended background in rainbow colours. You know, I like my colour and I like rainbows. So this one had some rainbow treatment. Then I simply just stamped it in black, added the hello from mid-century modern everyday sentiments, and then embellished with a few enamel dots. Super pleased how that one came out, super simple. And then for this one, I wanted just to use part of the design just for a nice simple masculine geometric card. So I actually masked off the top section of this circle die cut, stamped the block. I had to fill in a couple of areas of the design, added a little bit of colour and the sentiment from Bauhaus blocks, and I was done. I thought this was quite striking, simple but striking. And then this third card, it's actually one that they made last weekend at the Dies to Die For and Uniko stamping retreat. So here you can see the stenciled background, the stenciled version, and then the stamp stamped over the top. I used a sentiment from Concord and Ninth, So Many Sayings. I really love that sentiment set. And I just like to show how Uniko products can be used with a lot of the American brands and vice versa. I have, yes, a passion for my own designs and the products that I design and bring to you, but I also enjoy a lot of the American brands as well. So it's often nice to use those with my Uniko stuff. So I haven't cleaned my stamp very well. It's a bit battered. But hey ho, what I thought I'd do today is share how you can build a larger image to fill a larger space, and I'm going to do it without using my stamping platform today, only because it takes a little bit of cleaning if you're going to move it around in your stamping platform, unless you've got a super large platform to make life easier. But I don't really, mine's a medium size, but it's okay. But it's a little bit tricky sometimes to move things away around. So I'm just using traditional acrylic block. I'm going to use black I am going to stand up so I can see where I'm stamping and just put a bit of pressure on this block. So I made sure that my ink pad was nice and juicy. Now if I know that I'm going to want to fill a larger space, I try and centralize the image as best I can. It makes for filling it large, you know, moving it around to fill the larger space a little bit easier. Just making sure that I press over every bit. There's not a huge amount of solid areas on this one, it's more just the more chunkier lines, so it does stamp quite nicely. So then all you're going to do, re-ink your stamp, and then you've got two choices. You can either go here or you can go here. Now I'm going to go this way, and the stamp is the design is fairly forgiving, that if you didn't get it quite lined up, once you'd filled the whole area, you're not going to notice too much. And then you just keep moving it around till you've filled in the large space. So next I'm going to go here, like so, and you just keep moving the image around. It's just like you do with the stencil. I have to say, I think the stencil is a little bit easier to line up. I wobbled a little bit there. Mainly because you can see through your stencil and not transfer any ink. Obviously you could do this with your stamping platform and be a lot more precise and whatnot, but then you would have to clean your stamp in between. Which isn't a hardship if you want something that's absolutely perfect, but as I say, it's quite a busy design that if you haven't got the sort of the gaps between the lines exact, it's not going to look sort of horrendous. So you just keep moving it around until you're happy, and you're going to get slightly different sort of looks depending on where you place it. I'm wobbling a little bit here, but as I say, where my camera goes down is a little bit higher up than I normally work, hence why I'm standing up so I can see. But you get the gist, you get the idea of how this stamp works. And it's really good fun to use, and there's a tiny little gap just at the top here. I'm just going to fill that in, and I'm quite pleased with that, how it came together. And so you could, I don't want to smudge the ink, so you could add colour. You could have ink blended the background before you did it. You can do it on coloured cardstock and it'll give a different effect. But it's a rather fun image. It is quite a busier image compared to the mod background when that's completely stamped all over. But for this one, all you'd need is like a sentiment panel, really. And as I say, geometrics are super for masculine cards. So that's how you use the building feature of it. And then what I wanted to show, if I can actually find my stamps where I put them, here they are, is just a fun way of what you can use these accents stamps for. So I'm going to finish that card later. I'm not going to bore you and start colouring, because that's when I just sort of waffle on. So I've got another piece of card here, just making sure my hands aren't inky. And we're just going to place this down here. I am going to draw a couple of pencil lines fairly high up. Well, I'm going to draw one to start with and go from there. Because I sort of want a band across the top of my card. Now, I haven't really planned out colours for this, but I have these three that I was using earlier for another card that will be coming tomorrow. I've dusted off my Catherine Pooler minis again. I haven't used these for a long time, and then all of a sudden I decided I should be using them more. So I dusted those off. So I thought what I'd do is use this quarter circle to create a sort of fun banner across my card. Just giving it a little wipe. Had a little bit of dust or whatever because it had been sat out on my desk. I'm just using a pencil eraser just so I know the colours are gonna sit nicely. And I'm gonna try and start fairly in the centre for this card. So I've got Coral Cabana, I've got Tiara, and I've got Lime Ricky. So I'm just going to use these three colours to create a fun pattern. So you'll see with the sort, when you look at Bauhaus inspiration, you'll often see these half circles and quarter circles in the designs. A lot of geometrics, really. But these I think you can have a lot of fun with. Again, I just need to stand up because I wanted to leave a little bit of a gap. Not a huge gap, but just a little one to create a fun sort of pattern going across my card. Now normally I take my ink to my stamp, but because this one is quite little, there isn't a huge need to do it the other way. Might not get my border exact there, but you get the idea. And then what I thought I would do is just carry on. And I have to say that Anita did a fabulous job. She's used these smaller accent stamps on a card she's shared on her blog and on her Instagram account today. And her stamping and alignment and everything is super. So clearly she used her Misty. I think this one would be a good one to use your stamping platform with, like, to get perfect alignment. But I just wanted to show you sort of how these, I love showing how these smaller stamps can create big impact, and they're often overlooked as to, or what can I do with them, but there's a lot you can do with these smaller stamps. It just takes a bit of sort of thinking and looking at patterns and colour. I didn't need to clean that at that time, so we'll start this way. And if you repeated and sort of mirror imaged, you'd get other sort of shapes appearing inside the circles. So I've called it mod, but it has a very mid-century modern, so they work well with all the mid-century modern products as well. There really is a lot you can do, and I think my tiara is requiring some re-inking, and I need to check to see if I've actually got any of the re-inkers, because I can't remember. I really can't remember. Oh dear. And then finish off with the Coral Cabana one, and I'm just gonna stand up slightly. It's gonna be off a little bit, but hey ho, you get the gist of it, you get the idea. And there's sort of lots of fun you can have with these. And then I'm gonna infill. I've got this smaller one with the lines that matches the image in the main block. I've got these tiny little acrylic blocks here for tinier stamps. I'm just going to put the lids on these so I don't get my hands stuck in them and super inky. Just move them out of the way. So then I've got Dove here. It's a lovely grey, and because I've used some sort of lighter shades, I thought it'd be nice to use sort of a lighter grey. And I often work on this pad. You'll always see it in my videos, and I work on it in general anyway, so I can just test stamp things to see, do I like the colour, is it stamping nice? And then you could just add a little bit of interest. You know, I'll finish this showing you this today, and I'll go away and I'll remake the card or change it. But I just wanted to show you that you can do sort of different patterns and layouts with these stamps. You could create you can almost see it in this design here where I've used like the corner, and you create sort of like almost a pinwheel effect by stamping it round like that. So it's just about having fun with geometrics and playing, really. But I think it's a fun addition, and obviously you've got the offset look if you pair it with the stencil. Yes, the stencil is currently out of stock. I had a rush on it last weekend. As I said in yesterday's video, my stencil manufacturer is on holiday until the 11th of August, and as soon as at the weekend I'll be putting in a restock, so it's there ready waiting for her when she returns. So if you are after anything stencil wise, put in your notify me when back in stock requests. Then I have a rough idea of who's waiting for what, and I will try and order as much as I can from the inventory, the mid-century modern inventory, and also the Christmas release, which was at the end of July. Anyway, so this stamp will be available on Sunday. I will on Sunday put stencils back in stock for people to order, so you don't have to. So if there is something and you want to order all together to save you on shipping, it'll be in stock, but I will send an email as if there is a stencil that you've chosen and I haven't got it, and it'll be on my restock list. So I will send you an email when to expect your order. She's usually really good and gets my stencil restocks to me fairly quickly. So you shouldn't be waiting too long, but obviously she's coming back from holiday, so there might be a little bit of a backlog, but I should have them within sort of 3 to 4 days. But obviously it's easy to order together. But if there is ever anything and you've placed an order and you think of something else, just drop me an email and we can always add things. I'm always more than happy to help. Anyway, enough chit chat from me today. I've got some stuff to do, so thank you for joining me again today. Sorry for all my rambling. I will see you again tomorrow for the next product introduction, and bye for now.